As the leg starts to drop, you'll notice that the side of my foot, the lead foot, the side of the leg, all the way up to the hip, are facing the hitter, right? That's very important because it keeps the entire body closed. Again, that's the reason we have the ball in the glove. As the hands separate and we start out, we want to use that elbow as a sight. So the shoulders have to be straight along the imaginary line between second base and the plate. The front foot, the lead foot, comes out. We're showing the side of our foot to the hitter. All right? Now, let's imagine out of the high knee position, as I'm leading out, the hands are separated. Just before I land, all right, this is a position that's known as the number 2 position. All right? Both elbows are even with my shoulder. All right? I have not landed yet. Let's imagine here I got 2 inches. I'm standing on a wooden block here. We're in a high knee position. As we come down, you'll notice that my foot comes down, glides out, and then I land. All right? What we're not doing is coming from here, going out, and then down. What happens is, watch my head. As I come up, if I just go out and down, see where my head is? It's out in front of my belt buckle. Conversely, if we start in this position and we come down, out, and land, we can land with the nose behind the belt buckle. As we're leading out, in order to keep your weight back, and this is something that you'll do on a balance beam, and when you get on the mound, it's very important. So as you start to lead down, as the hands separate, it's a feeling of pulling back with the upper body. You lead out with the front hip, not with the shoulder. The hip goes down and out first before the shoulder moves at all. So you are leaning back slightly, keeping the head behind the belly button. All right, your belt buckle, your belly button, your nose is back here. So as you lead out, right, so that when you land in the high cock position, your nose is still in the center of your body. That will allow you to properly open the hips and generate the power with that explosion of the trunk and the hips.
Then you explode when you hit.
I wanted to use the inside of my feet, the inside of my knees, and this trunk area to stay inside, go, and then take off. And so therefore, that allowed all the transformation of my body to bear most of the whip and force and put less on my shoulder so that at throwing 94, 95, 95. So
let's examine the number 2 position and getting to the number 2 position. Once again, knee high, as we lead down, the side of the leg facing through, all right, using our block. This is the number 2 position, okay? Knee moves, separates the hand. As you're leading out, just at the point where you're just about to make contact, the elbows raise the hands to the shoulder height. Now, there are some pitches that'll hold the ball in the number 2 position slightly above the shoulder. Some hold it level with the shoulder. Some will actually have it down a little bit. Really doesn't make any difference as long as when he lands, he can get back into the number 3 position, the high cock position, properly. Again, that's why it's important, too, that we use the elbow as a sight. Our elbow is the sight between home plate, the front shoulder, the back elbow, and then the hand is on top of the ball facing the shortstop for right-handed pitches.
This is how to go. This is where you throw to the target. This is your eye level, all right? Yeah. Bullseye. Yeah. Bullseye. Right there. That? Like that. Like that.
Going forward. Boom.
Got it.
Elbow. Eyes. And then.
If you want to get the glove out, put a ball in the glove, practice getting into the high cock position, putting a little bit of tension on that glove to hold the ball in it. But again, the elbow, shoulder, should be perfectly in line with the imaginary line between home plate and second base. All right, now from the front, you can see this is the number 2 position. All right, you can see that my shoulders, my elbows are parallel. I've got the hand on top of the ball. I'm using my elbow as a sight. Now, once again, you can have the glove out this way towards the hitter, or you can curl it in. I prefer to curl it in.
Well, it reminds me of one we heard from David Bednar, the Pirates closer this year. He talked about using his front shoulder as a sight line for the target as long as he could. Did you ever think about that?
Well, what I did, I used my elbow. So
Elbow.
it's basically the same thing as what he's saying.
So tucking the chin at the same time you're using your front side as a sight line. There's
Right.
something interesting there.
I hope the kids that are watching this are writing that down, because how simple is that? Tuck your chin, point your elbow.
Pull.
Yeah.
To feel that, as opposed to being lame with this, the propensity to fly over.
Right.
No?
So in closing, no, I like any drill that's going to get you to a point where I call this box right here,
Yep.
trying to keep everything in the box. So the glove hand, let me see the glove real quick. As quiet as you can keep this front side
Okay.
and this head,
Yep.
I call keeping in the box. Here's the way I used to pitch. I used to get it out of that box, and I used to think that that was the way to rotate and deliver power.
Okay.
Then I learned the best way is to keep it in the box. My head's going straight, my glove is quiet, now I land in a position where I could field. That's the Greg Maddux slash.
Right? You watch the angle of the arm. My arm comes out, full extension, towards you, towards the plate.
At the time I release the ball, because that will force me to hold the ball for longer and actually bring it down.
We
to
talked
the
about
area I
this
want it.
yesterday, Petey. Go back to that. We're talking about the StatCast and where the release point is. You said you threw it out in front of your face.
Yes, I wanted to
So
kind
you
of.
tried to get as far as to home plate as you can.
I wanted to have an imaginary tube where I wanted to have my hand where I kind of wanted to see it and then follow the ball all the way, coming back, going away, or bouncing down. I wanted to see it.
Don't let anyone say that it's just a game. For I've seen other teams and it's never the same.